Hello, everybody. Welcome to MangaPod. We're a weekly podcast in which we all get together after we've read all or part of a manga, and then we discuss it with friendship, love, and lots of spoilers. This week, we are talking Bloody Monday, chapters 33 through 68. I am Erin of Happily Erin. With me is one of my lovely co-hosts, as well as a very special guest. So I'll have guys go around and introduce yourselves, please.
Hello, I'm Dex Bonus of Happily Dex Bonus.
Hello, I'm Moeka of Mega Moeka.
You didn't commit to the goof, and now you're kicked off the show.
Yeah.
No!
I'm replacing you with that frog that we had last week.
Oh, darn it.
Oh, that frog is good, though.
Promise, I can make this good.
Okay, should we try it again? Here, let's start over. I am Erin of Happily Erin, and with me is one of my lovely co-hosts, as well as a very special guest. So I'll have everyone go around and introduce themselves, please.
Hello, I'm Dex Bonus of Happily Dex Bonus.
Hello, I'm Moeka of Happily Moeka.
Yay!
We did it.
Huh, huh.
Teamwork.
Welcome to Manga Podcast.
Welcome to MangaPod. If you guys have never joined us for a MangaPod before, what we like to do is give you a short, spoiler-free description of the manga that we read, aka summary, that will be read by Happily Moeka, and then we will give you our spoiler-free recommendations, whether we think you should spend time going to read this manga or not. That way, if it sounds like something you are interested in, then you can come back and watch the VOD of this later. Take your leave once we get to spoiler section. We are asking that nobody post any spoilers for anything until we get into spoiler section. Once we do, please do not post anything past chapter 68. This is the second time we are doing this manga, so if manga. So if it does sound like something you're interested in, you haven't read the beginning either, go ahead and take your leave so you don't get spoilers on this. It was, disclaimer, it was read in chat 2000, when did we start this podcast? 13, 14?
A long time ago.
It was one of the first 20, 30 manga that we read, and so we decided it would be best to end on a cliffhanger and then read it 6 years later.
You can imagine that all of us were in our MangaPod group chat going, what the fuck was going on in this manga?
So that's where we're at.
Yeah.
So, all right, Moeka, if you don't mind.
All right. Somewhere in Vladivostok, Russia, a deal has been successfully completed. Danger looms over the horizon. A deadly virus, capable of killing within 3 hours of infection, has now fallen into the hands of a mysterious woman named Maya. Enter Fujimaru Takagi, a seemingly ordinary student at Mashiro Academy in Japan. However, very few know that he was famed for exposing crimes and corruption of high-profile individuals with his brilliant hacking powers. The infamous Falcon, who had abruptly vanished from the cyber world. Only the members of Third Eye, a top-secret division of the Public Security Intelligence Agency led by Fujimaru's father, Ryunosuke Takagi, and his friend Otoya Kujo, know of his past. When a KGB agent is murdered in Japan, the only cue to his death is a memory chip found at the scene of the crime. Fujimaru is recruited by Third Eye to decode the chip, which contains a video file of an event called the Christmas Massacre. Investigating the incident further, Fujimaru's father uncovers more information about the homicide and a mysterious code, Bloody Monday, before being framed for the murder of his superior. Now it is up to hacker Fujimaru to utilize his expertise to help Third Eye prevent the spread of terror and destruction in Japan, while attempting to clear his father's name.
Such a good job powering through that.
Yeah, that was long.
That is so long. I was like, oh, there's more. Okay,
When you hit the point where you said, while attempting to help out his dad, I thought that you were saying wild. I don't know why.
I thought she was getting ready to say while attempting to be a normal high school student. That's where I thought it was going, even though I know that's not the case.
Right, yeah.
Who's
he gonna take to prom? But White Day is right around the corner.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Moika, for reading that. Let's do spoiler-free recommendations. I can go.
Go for it.
Okay, go for it.
I don't know why I said that because I'm not prepared.
Okay, do it.
So we, like you said, we read this a very long time ago. And I remember loving it. I was so into it. I dug it. I was like, couldn't stop reading it. The place we ended on made me so mad that I had to keep reading more. And then I had to sit there and be like, I don't know what's going to happen. So I loved it a lot. And I always had thought about going back and reading it, but I always got distracted by different manga and different comics. And so I was super stoked getting to go back and check it out again. And there was a little bit of the magic. I don't know if it's because, like, my nostalgia of, like, 6 years ago, like, was blinding me or what. But, like, this section, or if it was just this section of reading, it kind of, like, my feelings are still kind of all over the place. I do think it has a tension level that is almost at the same level as Death Note. And so I think if Death Note is something you're interested in, you're looking for another cat and mouse type story, this is definitely one that you would enjoy and like to get into. And the art is like fairly clean. It's not like mind-blowing at all, but I mean, it passes, it gets what it does what it does and stuff. And it does have, like, some interesting character dynamics. And, like, there are definite twists in there that you aren't expecting. And so I think it is something that people should go and check out. I have thoughts about this section of reading, but overall, I think it's something that I would recommend to people.
Yeah, I would say that Death Note is a really good touchstone for this manga. In terms of, like, the way that things are set up. And the oh shit moments and the very like brain versus brain sort of stuff that goes on in it. Yeah, it's really good. Like in terms of how the story is set up. I think that the pacing is a little weird in it. But we looked up what our scores were last time that we read it, and Aaron was like, I remember loving this manga so much. And I was like, it's funny, I don't even really remember this manga. And I gave it a higher score than she did. So but yeah, it's good. I agree with Aaron that the art is like most of the time fine, and then every now and then some like there'll be a pose where you're like, that looks really weird. Like it's not like amazing art. But it is pretty clean for the most part, and it definitely does the job in terms of like helping you understand what's going on. So yeah, I would recommend it for sure.
Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt, but I just want to tell everybody that of the three of us, Moika has never read this one before.
Yeah, she read everything.
Yeah, so she read all 68. So, just wanted to preface it. But she nailed it. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. So yeah, that's what I was gonna start off with. Was Aaron literally was like 2 days ago was like, hey, do you want to be on MangaPod? And I was like, sure. And so I definitely think if you're looking for something that's kind of suspense thrillery, so like you're looking for something to read after like Death Note. I think I would definitely recommend this manga for sure. Otherwise, I think I feel like I wouldn't necessarily recommend this to everyone because of the pacing. Especially as having read it in like not one sitting, but almost essentially one sitting. Yeah, definitely not something I'd recommend for everyone. But if you're in the mood for something that's like a thriller with some suspense elements, then I definitely would recommend it.
Yeah, that's a good point. Cool. Do you guys have anything else you would like to touch on before we get into spoiler section?
I don't think so.
Okay. My desk is so wiggly. I don't know if you can tell. But because I have to have my arms on it and like be so close, it's just like any sort of shift. I'm either like flying back in my seat like this or like trying to hold myself still.
Erin has a really bad headache, and so she can't wear her glasses because they're making it worse. So she's just leaning in really close to be able to see what we're doing.
Because I literally, right here.
Send
right
Erin
here.
some love.
Everyone's a blur. So I'll just go, I'm just right here.
Yeah.
There I am.
Thank you for your commitment to MangaPod, Erin.
All right. Jumping into spoiler section. Countdown.
Okay. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Falcon is God.
It's like ridiculous.
Yeah. It's
okay. Do you remember when I was still reading and I started to say something and said, no, never mind, I'm just going to say this on the show?
Yeah.
What I was going to say is, I don't know how much more of the bodyguard being like, wow, this kid is incredible.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Stop it.
Wow.
Stroking his ego.
What an incredible kid. Wow. He's really blowing my mind.
And it was like said with the same exact, like, it was the first time she'd ever said it. Every single time. Yeah. Like the same, like, shock sound effect, like shock effect done where she's like, oh.
Oh my
Every
God.
time.
Yeah. The way that the shock was drawn on her face was always really funny too. Like, whoa. It's like this kid's a hacker.
The best.
Wow. Yeah. Anyway, as a reminder to everybody that's watching, we read up to chapter 68. If you have read past that in Bloody Monday, please do not talk about anything that happens beyond that, so that nobody gets spoilsied.
Yeah.
And this is a thriller, and you don't want to get spoilsied on a thriller.
It's very
You
true.
goofball.
You fool.
Moeka, what were your expectations when jumping into this manga, since you read all of it in one go?
So Erin told me the title and I had no clue what I was going into. So just based off the title, I was like, oh, maybe it's going to be like they're going to drop kids on an island and they're going to like have to murder each other to survive. And so I did not expect it to be like some kid being like, I'm a super god-like hacker that I'm gonna use my powers to save the world from a like virus that turns you into a zombie essentially that throws up blood.
Yeah, that's not what you were expecting.
Yeah, not at all. And also since I wasn't here for when you guys first read this, I feel like I would have rated the first part, definitely would have given it an 8.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And so yeah, I think
yeah,
I feel like it's just so silly. It's like that's the only thought I could think of.
Yeah. Silly.
But yeah,
But the beginning reading was stronger than the reading that we just did.
Yeah. And I
I
think
agree.
for me it has to do with the pacing, because I feel like the art improved some. It got a little bit cleaner for the most part, I feel. But the pacing for me made the second half kind of like not a drag, but I just kept thinking, I'm expecting this to move along a lot quicker, even though there was a lot of action happening.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we still had lots of good oh shit moments, I thought.
Yeah.
I thought we still had a decent number of like, oh, I actually did not see that coming at all kind of things. But yeah, when we were doing pre-show, we were talking about how it's crazy that like it felt like we read so much stuff and yet not that much happened in what we read.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's because we had so much time in like the control room, right? We had so many characters like commenting on what was going on and not as much like streamlined. This is the main action, you know?
It was it was all over, and there was like more. I think it would have been a little bit easier if it was less than like 5 separate groups. Like there were so many, because you had his dad, and then you had him, like Falcon, and then you had Jay, like the whole baddies.
Yes.
And then you had the guy with the gun, like the glasses dude, and then you had what's the agency's name?
Third Eye.
Third Eye.
Third Eye.
Then you had Third Eye, and then you had the SWAT guard team coming in, and it was just like at one point, and then you had Hide, like the little boy, and then you had his like we'll get to him, and then you had like his jackass of a step uncle. And so, like, literally, like, I'm pretty sure I'm forgetting one, but there was, like, 8 different groups happening at the same time, and that wasn't just through the whole reading. That was in the last, like, 10, 15 chapters, where all of that was happening.
We're jumping around a lot.
And so it was,
To its credit, for the most part, it was still clear what was happening. It was just, I felt like information was getting kind of reiterated sometimes.
Yeah. It was getting repeated, and I feel like what kind of made it lag was like they were explaining everything as it happened, instead of like letting it happen and then, here's one person's point of view about like what happened. Like it could have been condensed down. Instead, there was just so much exposition, and maybe it's why it was so clear, is because literally every single character said it in their point of view about what was going on and stuff.
Right.
But yeah, it just like made the pacing weird. And that was just the school section. Like I feel like everything up to the school section was pretty strong still. I feel like the school section was where it like definitely dropped, like the pacing got crazy.
Right. Yeah, so I'm trying to remember what happened at the very beginning of the reading.
He met with Jay at the like cafe diner place.
That wasn't right when we started though. There was something before that, and I don't remember what it was.
There was the one spy girl who was infiltrating.
Maya.
The girl that was in Third Eye.
Yeah, who was like a spy.
There was Maya, but then there was also the girl that was in Third Eye that was like turned against Third Eye.
Yeah.
That got shot while she was trying to escape with the sister.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then, at the same time that they were like escaping, that's when he was meeting with Jay.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Because he didn't know whether or not his sister was safe at that point. And there was like an information crosswire there. I remember that.
Oh, it was the whole him deleting the thing.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Him being like
a very important part that I was like, no!
Mikhail was supposed to delete the thing, but did he? And Jay being like, what are you trying to do here?
Yeah, there's that whole her thing.
Yeah. Jay is an interesting character to me. Like, he's
interesting in, I want to know how you're using interesting, just so I have a clear idea of it.
Right. Yeah. He's interesting to me in that, depending on the moment, he either seems to be like really rooting for Falcon to fuck everybody over. Like, yo, this kid's got some crazy stuff going on in his brain. But if Falcon is like succeeding, he's pissed about it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, there is a really weird line here between I'm enjoying watching another person with big brain energy like myself do their thing. But then the second that it like makes his life slightly inconvenient, he's like, but also fuck this kid. Let's kill him.
How dare he?
Okay.
Do you guys think he's Konjo's brother? Because there's been a few flashbacks of like he'll think about Konjo and just get this like face like really upset face. And when he was talking to Konjo's grandfather or dad, then he like had a very like, it seemed a lot more personal. Like he had a very personal look on his face when he first started talking to him. And he looks like Konjo too. So
right. Yeah,
that's
maybe.
just kind of, I was like, did you guys have a feeling on that? I can be totally wrong. I'm usually like 9 times out of 10, I'm very much wrong with my like,
That's
a
not
twist.
True. That's not true.
8 times out of 10. But yeah, so that was, I think he's really interesting too. I'm trying to decide if, like you said, he's a purposely inconsistent character, or if the mangaka's like, I want him to be both of these things, or like I need someone to be both of these things and it needs to be him. I'm trying to think of like there's so many different characters like throughout different anime that I feel like they're trying to make him be, that is like his stereotype, and I don't know if there's something different enough about him that makes him stand out. But I will say the twist with meeting him in the cafe the first time that was one of the things that in the first time we read it that I got to, and I was like, oh shit. And it was the same like this way. I was like, oh shit, I remember this moment just being like, fuck. It's exactly spoiler finger for Death Note.
Spoiler finger for Death Note. If you haven't read Death Note and intend to mute until our fingers come down.
I'll give you some moments. Do you know what I'm about to say?
I think so, but you should say it anyway.
Okay. Oh wait. 5 more seconds.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. L is God. Anyway.
Wow. I was gonna say it reminds me of the moment when L and Light. Wow, I blanked on his name real hard there. I had like 30 seconds to prepare. L and Light meet in the university. That like reminded me of that, and even going through this second time, hardcore feels with that. So that's just what I thought for that twist. So
you're safe now. Come back to our prison. I think my favorite like twisty moment was when they were in the woman's apartment, and he was like, "All right, I'm gonna decrypt this antidote." Right. And like, and wasn't doing that at all, was like giving everybody else a virus. I was like, oh, fuck, my boy.
That was a really good one too, where you're just like, all right, something's off with this. But then he just like, he nailed that one. Yeah. What about you? Yeah, Moeka.
So for me, it had to do with the sister, where her brother's like, hey, stay here. People are gonna look after you. I have to like go do things. And then the sister being like, but you don't have to do those things. Just stay here with me. I don't know why, but for me, I was just so surprised that she completely disregarded what he said. I guess I'm just with like current day anime and like manga. I expect sisters to, when they're told to do something, they just do it.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, it just like, it blew my mind that she completely disregarded it. And I like literally yelled out loud, like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, why are you leaving?
Oh my gosh. And then she just ended up like being part of the virus group. I was like,
yes!
I was like, did nothing.
This is why you fucking stay in your bed.
Yeah.
You're on dialysis. No.
Oh.
And I was just like,
girl. Yeah, when I saw the note that was like, sorry, I'm gonna go hang out with my Oni-chan. I was like, no.
Yeah, I was like, no, why would you?
Yeah. I mean, I guess like in her situation, right? She's got a dad in the shit and a brother in the shit, and she's super sick, and it keeps being told like that she can't go anywhere. So she just sits around constantly, either getting kidnapped or worrying that everybody else is dead. So like it. I get that when her brother finally shows up again and is like, by the way, I gotta peace out and like kill some terrorists. She's like, don't.
She's like, I'm going with you.
Surely there are some fucking adults that can do this.
Oh my god. Yeah, I'm like, how incompetent. And like, they brought in that one dude at the end. That's the like
new guy in charge.
Yeah, he's like hoi hoi hoi. And it's just, I was like, why are you adding here? Why are you here? You add no, like, just another level of like, are they going to take orders or are they going to go behind the back? And it's like, stop.
I know, because it's not like we don't already have enough people that have that like voice aspect of, I can't believe that you're allowing a child to have clearance, right? And he just winds up being an obstacle, like a pointless obstacle. Like finally, shit was starting to run like an oiled machine in there, and then he was like, "Hello, this is mine now." What do you mean we have a high schooler working for us? Get rid of him. I was like, why?
Why are you here? What did you guys think? Should we talk about Hide? Precious Hide. No. That was another. That was a twist I didn't expect. I actually, lives. Yeah, who's still alive and happy. I actually like talking about twists. Like him getting that virus threw me. Like I did not expect it to come out like that. I was like, oh, he's coughing because he's like nauseous that all of this shit is going on around him, and then it cuts to the panel of like them all freaking out, and then you just see the single panel of him just bleeding everywhere. I was like, oh,
no! Yeah.
My heart, and I was like, he was one of the characters recently that I'm like, you need to save him. Like, you can't let this happen. So sweet. Yeah.
And he wanted, and of course, he was the character who was like, yeah, there's some serious shit going on here, and I don't want to be here anymore. We should go home.
Yeah.
We should. Yeah. And it was everybody else who was like, no, we need to stay with our friends. He's like, can I please go home? And then he dies. I was so mad.
So mad.
And he had to die knowing that his fucking family member betrayed him.
And that the rest of his family was going to die.
Yeah, the rest of his family was going to be murdered.
Because he was like, please tell my dad that I love him. And he's like, your dad is going to be killed. And it's like, no, let him do this. Let him survive.
Especially because, like, he took the moment there, right, to say, I was part of his family for a year. Allow me to say goodbye. And I was like, oh, we're about to see that, like, even though he truly believes in this fucked up cause, he did love the family. Mm-hmm. And then he was like, your dad's going to be shot by my sister and I'm going to shoot you. Goodbye. I was like, this was not the like gross tender moment that I thought it was going to be.
And then he shoots, and then Glasses Dude shoots him, and they die to each other, like looking into each other's eyes.
They died together? I was like, this isn't, I don't want this.
Yeah, no. I was like so surprised with how brutal things were. Because, yeah, it was just like, I was thinking, yeah, I thought the same thing. I was like, oh, this is going to be like kind of a like tender moment of him being like, hey, I'm sorry that I have to do this to you. But no, it was awful. I hated it. Yeah. It was awful.
Well, because that, there is another moment. I mean, that was definitely the worst, but there was the other moment with the engaged couple that were in the basement.
Yeah.
And they got out, and you're like, oh, they got the antidote. Everything went off smooth. And then you find out that she died. And you're not expecting it. So it does get, like, bizarrely gruesome unexpectedly in some parts. And I don't know if it's because it's, like, the art style looks so, like, I don't know. I don't know if it's the art style that, like, makes it surprising or what. But, yeah, there's just times where it's like, oh, that's not what I expected to have happen.
I don't know why. It was really weird to me that the second she died, he took her ring off.
Yeah.
I understand that, like, he's probably going to keep it and be like, my love died here and I'm going to fight against the terrorists who killed her. But I was like, she literally just died. And he's like, let me take that back.
He's like, I gotta find someone else for this sucker.
Can't she be buried with it? Like, what? Okay.
Nope. He doesn't want to have to get another ring the next time he gets it.
How are the other ghosts gonna know that she's taken?
Yeah.
But she
How
died.
is she supposed to save herself in heaven for him otherwise? Like, come on.
Sorry, what were you gonna say, Aaron?
It was a stupider joke than that, so I want that one to linger for
Good. Love it.
That was so funny. Glasses dude.
Yeah. He was weird.
He's really weird.
He's super weird.
I thought it was, like, very convenient that Falcon, I mean, I guess it's been built up that Falcon has, like, the power to manipulate voice and, like, can hack into all of this and stuff. So, to its credit, like, it definitely sets all of that up. But I just didn't care about him very much. And then I felt like with how hyped up he was, like, Falcon is even, like, he was able to take on all of these cops and stuff before, so I knew he'd be able to handle 16.
He was tricked so easily.
He was tricked so easily, and then he died so easily. Like,
yeah. Oh my god, so anticlimactic.
Oh my, I did love the fact that the guy was like, nobody thought to check him for a bulletproof vest, and because he literally survives. Like, that's what I thought too. I was like, did they check his pulse? Like, they better have made sure he was fucking dead. No, these trained operatives are like, he dead, we good. And they go in and they have the time to, like, they just leave his body there long enough.
And then
where they're passing out all the they pass out all the antivirus. And then that's when he appears, startling so, and shoots the guy with the antivirus and, like, sets off this, which I get has to lead in to the next big thing, like, next big face-off. But I was just like, convenient.
Well, what I don't understand is you still could have led into the next thing by using the antivirus and then being like, but now we don't have any.
Seriously.
We've used it on everybody, so we need to figure out how to get more. Like, it didn't need to break and have everybody be like, cool.
Yeah. Like,
that was wasted.
No! Yeah, I thought that was
odd.
A very silly twist. Like, he didn't even need... Literally, like, there are some characters that exist just to do the one thing, make that one thing happen, and then they're like, all right, let's kill you, and just, like, anticlimactically get out. And, it's like, this is so... There's so many, like, going back to the pacing issues, like, there's just, I think something that this manga would have definitely benefited from was some breathing room. Like, I get that there's, like, everything is happening all within, like, minutes of each other. Like, it's all happening within, like, a day or two. And it's just going. But, like, there needs to be some breathing room between heists and, like, breaking and doing all of this. Like, there just needs to be something there. I'm not saying, like, a filler, like they go to a carnival or something. But, like, just a little... just, like, in the middle. Right. That's where he meets Jay for a second time.
Oh, my God.
Pull a Kuroko. And yeah, there just needed to be some breathing room there to let each arc kind of slow down and then speed up into the next one. So that was something I think I really would have appreciated. I don't know what it would have been, but I would have really appreciated being able to be like, all right, that last thing was epic. Now I need to settle down and then go into the next thing. Instead, it just was like boom, 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 boom.
Yeah. Which I think, I know in the pre-show we had been talking about how that girl talking to Falcon's dad had been like, oh, sensei. Like, I don't, it made me wonder, like, does she have, like, a huge crush on him? Like, did I miss this? Like, does she like Falcon and is like, well, I can't get him, I might as well go for his dad. Like, I don't know. the pacing of that just felt so weird.
Felt very interjected. Yeah, like you guys, she's talking about the picture that is in loose space right now. Where she's like, in that picture, she's crying because he's like in pain or something's going. Yeah, he's telling her to leave him.
Everybody's leaving, and she's like, I'm gonna stay with Sensei. Yeah. And he's like, no, you should leave with everybody else. And she's like, no! Like crying.
And like the art of it and just her words are very bizarrely sensual, where you just look like, it looks like she's like licking her finger even though she's just has her mouth open, and like she's got the blush. It's like a very weird thing that was in there, and I was like, did they want to expand on that? Yeah, like you said, Moeka, but I was just like, it just comes across as really predatorial in like a weird way.
Yeah,
I didn't understand her like, I don't remember her from the first reading. Like, I don't remember her. She's a very forgettable character.
I can't remember her at all. No.
I feel like her whole thing at the beginning was just like, she's kind of like tsundere towards Falcon, and I think even someone pokes fun at like, oh, haha, you guys are like a couple, and she's like, no. And so it's just, it's just very weird in like what her role is in all this, aside from like, oh, she's a part of the Scooby Gang. Like, I don't.
And I felt like Konjo, it's Konjo, right? I can't remember. Pretty boy best friend. Kujo. I felt like he was kind of sidelined too in this, though he did do stuff, but it would just be like, there's Kujo. Oh, bye, there's Kujo. Bye, Kujo. You have a bow and arrow against guns.
I was aiming for the vitals. and then we zoom in on Side Girl, and she's like, oh my god, these guys are so intense. I can't get I think that my favorite parts of this reading were people's inner monologues.
Yeah.
This kid made all of this stuff. What an incredible boy.
Wasn't there one line where he was like, if you're inside, you can connect to the internet from anywhere, or something like that? I was like, this came out years ago.
I don't know how, like, realistic all of this stuff is, like, all of the computer stuff. But, yeah, when he, like, plugged into the wall and was like, I made a Gabby, and it'll let me get internet from the outlet. I was like, what?
What? Okay.
What?
Oh my goodness. So funny. Davis Devin Travel. I'm currently reading this. It's so good. Yes, we are talking spoilers. If you are not to chapter 68, we are going to be talking spoilers. But that's so cool that you're reading it. There's been a few people who have talked about how they've read it, which is really interesting because I never see this talked about anywhere.
I don't see people talk about it ever. Yeah.
This part is, so there's three series for this. This one ends at like chapter 95 or something. And then there's another one and there's a final season too. So I'm like wondering how they're stretching. The last part of this has to be that the weird god dude breaks out of, prison. Which is also another thing happening. There's another group. I forgot about that group. There's a prison group where Maya's just like, all right, negotiations broke down. Boom, motherfuckers.
Yeah, she shot a guy and no one shot her back.
They're like, oh no!
Yeah, now all of these police officers with their guns out, all of the terrorists with their guns out. Maya's on the phone and is like, well, guess that's over. Shoots a cop and then has time to be like, so it turns out that we're actually not going to do this the way that we had discussed before. And the other guy's like, interesting. And I was like, shoot them! Why are we shooting the terrorists? They just shot a guy. Like, what?
Which also, Maya is like, it kind of goes with like us talking earlier about how everything is like, there's so many groups. Like even within those groups, they're like, there's part of them that are so split because it's like you got the cult prison people, you got like Jay's group, and then there's like people outside of Jay's group who Jay sees as like an inconvenience and is like, if I was in charge of all this, they'd be dead. But I'm listening to the big man upstairs, and I'm gonna allow her to like keep working with us for now. So it's just like,
there were like 3 different times in this again, reminder that we were discussing how like not that much happened in this reading really. And there were maybe 3 different times that he took the time to be like, I just don't know why we keep you around, Maya. I was like, then get rid of her.
It's like, why? She's lied to you. You know that she lied to you. This would be perfect time for all those people who you do trust that are standing behind her with guns to just fucking kill her and then be like, all right, cool. Instead, all of those people who know that he doesn't like her are like, oh, she had a freak out, but then this thing obviously contradicts everything Jay has told us. Ah, no, she good.
How weird that Maya gets away with literally everything.
Yeah, because I was like, this guy's obviously really smart. He couldn't have been like, I'm gonna kill her. All of you in my group are gonna like lie to the big man and tell him that the cops shot her and she just died because she was bad at her job. Like
she sucks at her job, which we have lots of evidence for.
Yeah, so I'm just like, he couldn't have thought that up. Like I don't understand, but whatever. Interesting.
What did you guys think of Cain and Abel? They didn't do much.
They didn't really do
much.
They
had the really epic. Yeah, they had the really epic moment in the diner, like cafe.
Yeah.
That really good moment. And then the rest of the time they're just like touching each other.
Yeah, the rest of the time they were snuggling or petting each other's hair, and I was like, okay. And then they were like, yes. Sorry.
No, you go.
I was gonna say that they had the whole conversation in the car where they were Cain and Abel. What a fantastic name for them. Very apt. And I was like, how? What? Are they okay?
And then the rest of the time they're just like giving these looks of like, I don't approve. Oh, I don't like her. Oh. And they're just sitting there like petting each other and giving weird and disapproving looks. And they were hyped up real hard because the guy was like, do we need to call those two?
Yeah.
I was like, oh, snaps! And then when they appeared, it was, oh, snaps. And ever since then, it's been like, what? Yeah. It was another one of those characters that is like there to do one thing and have that twist happen and then just kind of be sidelined.
Right.
Too. And I guess having this many characters set up, it's like, all right, they have potential to do stuff in the future, but there's just so much like, is this the Bible?
Yes. My favorite manga, the Bible.
The Bible. Have you guys seen the Jesus manga?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good. I was going to say if you hadn't, I would be like, how have you not seen that?
There's probably a Bible manga, right?
Yeah. Let's see.
Because like when we were younger, they were like, oh man, you know how to reach teens? We're going to make a teen Bible. Where they translated the whole Bible into slang.
Oh my God.
There's gotta be Bible manga.
Hold on. Let me...
Aaron, with your limited eyesight, are you the one who should be looking at this?
Yeah.
I genuinely didn't even think about like how close I must be to like this camera right now.
I'm just seeing you like...
Alright, hang on. We're gonna find this.
Apparently there is one. Oh my God, the cover.
Wow, look at that cover. Manga Messiah.
Yeah, that's
Manga Messiah. Oh God.
Hold on, can I?
Has he come to save the world or destroy it?
Look at all the fucking girls in the back. Is that Mary Magdalene? Please be Mary. Which one do you think is Peter? Probably the one.
Man.
Here, I got it. Hang on. I'll have this in our thing so that everybody can see it.
So according to the wiki on this, it's a 5-volume manga based on the Christian Bible, created under the direction of the nonprofit organization Next, a group formed by people from the manga industry.
Amazing.
Apparently it was first published in English.
Oh.
Even though the books were originally written in Japanese.
For a second, thought you meant the Bible books.
Even though the Bible was originally in Japanese, we got the manga in English.
The manga.
Oh no. I like that I used this. I covered up both of us instead of. There we go. I
was okay with it.
Wow. Okay.
Manga Messiah.
There you go. Manga Messiah. It looks like, you know how there were those, like, back in the 2000s, there were how to draw your own manga that were done by, like, people in America who, like, had very little knowledge. That was what it looks like.
Yeah.
This
could be a how to draw the Bible.
Do you guys think this red-haired dude is Judas?
I don't know. I'm like, so whoever the red dude is, he looked like the street urchin character, right?
Yeah.
We've got a dude back there with a sword, looking very cool.
Is that Angel Michael, you think? Or is
That's
that
definitely like Michael?
Or, yeah.
This is good. This is good content. We should read this for MangaPod.
Yes, please. All right. No, Mary of Magdalene is the one praying. Right there.
Oh, probably.
Who's the who was the it was another Mary. Was it Mary who was the prostitute?
Mary.
It was
another
Mary. Yeah. That's got to be the one dancing, right?
Probably.
Yeah. Cool. There's your Jesus fix. Welcome to MangaPod.
There it is. Do you remember when this is so off topic?
Nope, bring it.
Erin joined a group for like a show that she was watching and wrote to me at a certain point. I'm going to keep this very like,
oh my God,
wrote to me at a certain point and was like, I think that I'm watching people talk about their Bible ships.
Oh my God.
Just like screen grabs of people like talking about different people in the Bible and like, yeah, they were totally making eyes at each other in this verse. And Erin was like, what am I reading? She's like, this is not what I joined this group for.
What I'm here for.
Yeah. Erin and I were both just like, I never thought about it, but I guess some people read the Bible and ship people in it. Like,
Peter and Jesus, guys.
OTP.
OTP.
Oh, jeez.
Should we talk about art?
Sure. Yeah.
So we've kind of touched base on it, like itty bitty here and there. But what are your guys' like overall, like your specific feelings?
I do feel like frequently enough there are times in this manga where I'm like, wow, that looks really weird. Mm-hmm. Like somebody will be striking some kind of a pose where it's just super off, So the art will look fine, pretty clean for the most part. I feel like it's almost always the women.
Yes.
Like the men always look really clean, and the women, like, their faces will change drastically depending on what emotion. And I don't mean like they change because they're having an emotion. I mean, it looks like a totally different fucking person sometimes. Mm-hmm. And then like Maya has like big old badonks, and I swear to God, sometimes the way that she's posed is like you wouldn't see that much of her boobies if she was really standing that way, but like really want those bajongas out. Like mm-hmm. She just looks. Is that how you hold a gun? I don't know.
She looks like one of those like art dolls that you have that you pose, but it looks like they just took that and then added the boobs on without taking into consideration like the rest of the pose and how it works. But they always look like their backs are broken, like just like they're twisted into the most sex position when they don't need to be. Like when girl is like, oh, Sensei, I don't want to leave you. And then she talks on the phone. Like the next panel is her talking on the phone, and she's like twisted like this, but her boobs and butt are out. It's like she's talking on the phone.
I keep thinking it might be the lips because the mangaka will like always does something with the lips for everybody, but it feels like there are certain moments where it's like I shade in these lips for this scene, and I'm like, but now it's her lips weren't that plump before. She just looks like a different person now. So there were a lot of moments like that where it felt like the design of the guys was like really clean and crisp, and the design of the girls was a little bit all over the place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, in like talking about like the designs of the characters, that was something like pretty impressive that you had so many characters. That they all look pretty varied in terms of character design for the most part. I think the good organization had the most people that looked very similar to one another, and I don't know if that's because they had so many guards that they could just like toss away. But I think that there was like an okay job at differing character designs. Because there were a lot of times where I was like, oh, I know who this character is. I know who this is because this and this. But overall, yeah, like the art itself, there was just like something off about like, I don't know if it was the paneling, like gave the pacing, like going back to the pacing, like the paneling and how everything was done was weird. They can draw eyes very, very well. So the mangaka loves zooming in on those eyes, especially with Falcon doing stuff. Yeah.
Although it makes me laugh with the like best friend character. I can't remember his name.
Cujo.
When because he's drawn with basically like completely black eyes. And so there were a couple of panels that were like right here on him where it was just like this huge like just black eye. Like we didn't need to get in that close. That's okay. Lost some details there.
Well, what about you, Moeka? Do you have any thoughts on the art?
I feel like, I felt like that there are certain things in the like the lining of the art itself was he like cleaned up as the manga progressed. But yeah, the character designs definitely took away like some parts for the women especially. I feel like the paneling I had issues with sometimes because it'd be like, oh, the first two panels would be like standard, and then the one underneath it would be like, it would take up like 3/4 of the middle page instead of matching up with the rest of the paneling. So it'd be like, I feel like the left side usually would match up with the rest of the panels, but then the right side he just would leave completely blank and white and just cut the box short, and I don't know why, but that really threw me off.
Yeah. And it felt like sometimes that there was like a really weird like soft blur filter over some stuff. I don't know if that was just me, but there was times where like it didn't look super sharp. Like, there was some times where it would look really sharp, and then some chapters, and so it could have also been, like, a translation thing, like a sub, and so it looked really sharp, and then a few chapters later, it was like, oh, it's kind of not, it's, like, smeared a little bit more. And something else that, like, I think really made that last arc, the school arc, suffer was the backgrounds were never very inspired. They were either like not there or they were super simple. And so it was very difficult to tell, okay, like where is where, because everything looked so similar. And I get like that most of them are in the school, so it's going to be hard to differentiate the rooms and stuff like that. But even arcs where they weren't out there, like it was very, I don't want to say like bland, but everything looked very generic and the same, I thought. Or there wasn't anything too.
I feel like you're used saying that some parts look kind of blurry. I feel like it has to do with his use of screen tone. Yeah. Because there would be times where the screen tone would be super clean and it would be like, it'd be like stippling dots, and it'd be super clean. But then like he would try to keep the background like really not detailed, I'm guessing to save time. And so he would use this like weird like gradient tone that's like gray dots, and then it was just white for the majority of the background. So I feel like that made it look really messy.
Yeah.
Even though the characters' lines were like super clean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. Yeah, that's definitely what it would be. Cool. Do you guys have anything else you would like to add, or should we do final thoughts and ratings?
I think I'm good. Yeah.
No, I think I'm good.
Cool.
I feel like we like got everything.
Yeah. I feel like we touched on lots of stuff.
Yeah.
We did it.
Yeah. Good job, team.
Trying to think about what rating, because like Dodger and I were saying earlier, we both gave it you gave it an 8.5. When I point, I'm so close to the camera. It's just you. And I gave it an 8. So those were our base scores, which I still stand by for that first section. I still stand by that.
Yeah, so for the first part, I went ahead and gave it an 8 for myself. I feel for this second part, I knocked it down to a 7. It's still good, but I think the weird pacing, they're just I don't know. It made it really hard to read at times because I just felt like I feel like I should be done with this part. Like I understand what's happening, but I'm getting like the POV of all the characters that are there for this one specific moment, which I feel like I don't need.
Yeah.
So it's just like, is this like something that he's gonna touch on in future chapters where it was like, yeah, this pointless like POV back then was super important for this reason.
Right. Yeah, I was thinking I would probably give it a 7 as well, because there were still moments that made me go, whoa, I actually didn't see that coming. And I think overall it was well done, but yeah, there wound up being too many moving parts. And I think just what we've said quite a few times now, but like things were just reiterated too many times. And it wasn't quite as streamlined as I wanted it to be because the thrill of it would start to dampen the more time that you had to wait for the payoff of just like, I get it, you know? Yeah. But we did have lots of moments in here that made me feel something, whether it was like anger or like surprise. It did elicit like good responses, like good planned responses from me. So I would still definitely recommend it. And I think a 7 is still like a really good score. It's just the beginning, was stronger. And I think it was because it wasn't as complicated yet. And there weren't as many people involved yet. So hopefully it kind of gets pared down again. Hopefully he'll just kill off a bunch of people with this virus, and then like it'll I don't know, a lot easier.
Just like a bunch of people just die, and that'd be great. Just no more Hides. No more Hides. Bring Hide back.
Yeah.
And then it'll be great. I'm gonna go ahead and give it a 7 too, echoing what both of you have said. The first part is so much stronger. The tension is done a lot better. This section has so much like exposition that it all went fast while feeling slow. Like it was a really bizarre feeling while reading it. But there were things that I really enjoyed. There were things that, like Dodger said, I didn't see coming. I didn't expect to feel so connected to Hide. And it just, I thought it was solid in some ways and then not so much in the other aspects of it. And like the art is okay. It's just like we talked about with the different poses. Like some of it was really weird. But it is like Moeka said, I do remember it being a little bit harsher at the beginning. So I think that's improving, hopefully. And I do want to see how it ends too. Like, there's so much going on, and I'm still, even though all of that was happening and we were a little, like, iffy on this part, there's still so much that I want to see the payoff for in the future. So I think I'll definitely still go ahead and read it 6 years from now.
Yeah, so see you in 6 years, guys.
Oh my goodness. But yeah, so that wraps up our discussion of Bloody Monday chapters 33 through 68. Like we said, there's a lot of stuff that we might have gotten spoiled if you hung around and haven't seen it, read it, then you definitely should still go and check it out if it sounds like something you are interested in reading. So I'm going to go ahead now, read the description for the manga that we are reading, not next week. Next week we are going to take a break for the week after that.
Do you want me to read it? Yeah, I can do it.
Hold on.
No, we got it for the entertainment value. Come on,
I was gonna let you go for it.
And I was just like, I tried and I went,
I love this manga. I'm just gonna say that.
Okay.
Yay.
Y'all ready? I'm gonna omit some words so that it's not too obvious if you can guess in chat. Blank's daily life is full of adventure. She is energetic, curious, and a bit odd. Odd enough to be called strange by her father, as well as ignorant of many things that even a 5-year-old should know. Because of this, the most ordinary experience can become an adventure for her. As the days progress, she makes new friends and shows those around her that every day can be enjoyable.
All right, y'all. Guess what it is? Oh, yep.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh,
I love this. I love this one.
Yeah. So we are going to be reading.
We could do with something wholesome.
Yeah, that would be nice. Considering, I mean, I was gonna say we read Yona of the Dawn last week, but it's not necessarily the same wholesome. It's not really wholesome. We are going to be reading volumes 1 through 4, chapters 1 through 27. So that again is not for next week. It is for October 8th. Cool.
Ignore that. Sorry, I'm just putting it in our chat.
Say, are you pinning it?
Yeah.
All right, let's go around and sound a little. Oh, okay. Sorry if that got really loud when I went over this way, but I genuinely could
we
not
just got
see.
more of your beautiful voice.
I could not see. All right, let's go around and shout out our stuff super fast. I'm Erin of Happily Erin. I have a YouTube channel. It's youtube.com/Happily Erin. It's very inactive, but if you want to go ahead and check out my previous anime videos, there's reviews, first impressions, all sorts of stuff like that. Previous MangaPods, mental health awareness stuff. Currently working on a book, which is in its 3rd rewrite, and I'm learning what it means to be an author. Going through.
I'm so excited.
Yeah.
I am currently much more active on Twitter and Instagram, which is Happily Erin. All across the everything, I post pictures of my babies and writing updates and Thai drama stuff. So that's me.
Side note, somebody in my chat the other day, you've probably gotten this feedback before, was somebody who follows you and like your book updates and stuff, was like, Erin, I read a lot of young adult novels, and Erin's writing feels very anime. I was like, I think that was her goal. Like, yeah, it's great.
Nailed
Big
it.
compliment. Aww. Thanks.
Hi guys, I'm Dodger. You can find me at Dex Bonus on pretty much everything. I will be at TwitchCon this weekend, so if you're going to be there and you'd like to come by and say hi, I'll be in Artist Alley with our artist Danny, who does all of our emotes and everything on the channel. So Danny and I will be at table 34 or 35, one of those, and I'll be there all weekend. So if you want to swing by, say hi, we would love that. And other than that, I don't really have a whole lot going on. I'm going to be streaming after this. I'm going to be doing some side quests in Control. We beat the game, but we're going to go back in and do some of the cool side quest stuff. So if you're wanting something else to watch after this, stick around.
And real quick, sorry, I was going to say real quick, if you want one of our other hosts, Lou Talks Anime, he's not here this week, but if you want to go and send him some love on Twitter, boop, 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 boop. We love that. And he will be here next 2 weeks from now, too, hopefully. So go check him out. He's wonderful, and we miss him.
Yeah. Hello, I'm Moeka. I go by Mega Moeka online, so you can find me on Twitter and Twitch mainly. I have a YouTube, but it's also like hiatus because I'm just so busy with like doing other stuff. Yeah, if you like anime and playing some Overwatch or just JRPGs, check me out.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Okay.
Awesome. If you guys would like more MangaPod, we do have a subreddit, reddit.com/r/MangaPod. You can go and check that out. There's a recommendation thread there, and the schedule will be updated there soon too. We thank you guys so much for coming and hanging out with us while we talk Bloody Monday. We appreciate it. If you're watching this pod later, thank you so much. And we will be here not next week, but 2 weeks from now, reading Otsuba volumes 1 through 4, chapters 1 through 27. We will see you guys then. Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye.
Hold on.
Bye.
I'm too far away. I can't. There we go.